if you're always only able to copy somebody that you perceive to be in front of you, a couple things could happen. One, you're only ever just a watered down version of them.
Correct.
Because you're just doing what they do. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our show. Today, we're going to take a look at the things that are holding you back or potentially holding you back in your business. And hopefully, we can help you work through them. My name is Todd. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen. What's going on, Jen?
Not much. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. So before we dive in, we want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by our friends at Ping Pong Design and Marketing. If you want to love your website again, or you're looking for more clients to fill your chair or your business, Ping Pong wants to make the internet a better place with websites and marketing campaigns that inform and convert. Ping Pong is offering our audience a special discount. Check that out in the show notes on any website or digital marketing campaign. So visit the show notes, reach out to Chris, and get some help, get some customers in your business.
Do it today.
Folks. Yeah, don't wait. On to the show.
Let's do this.
All right. What's holding us back in business?
This is a great topic.
It's a pretty good topic. So this came up because I started writing actually a blog post about this, which will probably take a back burner now because we're talking about it. So I'm getting the thoughts out. But I came up with this list, and it's not a comprehensive list, but it's a list of maybe 10 or so things that we've all probably been guilty of at one point or another, and we can help people clean that up.
Absolutely. At least one of these will resonate with anyone that's listening, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So
you can relate this even to life.
Yeah,
it's good.
For sure. So businesses don't typically do that well. This is where my original thought came from for this blog post. So 20% of small businesses close within a year.
Yeah, that's
crazy. A high number.
Yeah.
From there, I forget what the 5-year mark is. Maybe it's 80%. And then only, I think it's 34% of small businesses make it to year 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we've done that twice.
Yeah. Which is impressive.
Which is pretty impressive. That's not a brag. It's just, we've gone through these things that we're going to talk about, and we know. We get it. We've been through it. Yeah. So if the stuff we talk about, if you're like, frustrates you, good. Right? All right, let's dive in. So let's start with procrastination.
It's a good word. One that most people are like, oh, that's how I feel when I hear that word. Procrastination. It reminds me of high school. I don't know why. I always procrastinated to the last minute. That's probably why.
So why do people procrastinate? And this is a big one, because I feel like when you're an entrepreneur or business owner, when I talk to people, even that want to have businesses in the future, there's no shortage of ideas, but they never take action. They never actually, they just keep putting it off and off.
Agreed. They have lots of ideas. You're right. They're writing them down. They're talking about them with everybody.
Maybe. They're writing them down.
So they're talking about them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And then they're never doing any of it.
I think there's a fear that is in all of us of being judged, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
There's the perfectionism crowd. Mm-hmm. There's the lifelong learner crowd.
Mm-hmm. There's the I don't know where to start crowd.
Yes. Yeah. So we know this exists. I don't think anybody would argue that procrastination doesn't exist. So what do we do about it?
Figure out your first step to make progress and an actionable step, right?
Yeah, just take action.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to act on something or nothing is going to happen.
Correct.
You can't keep putting stuff off.
Yeah.
This is probably why 20% of businesses close in the first year.
Yeah.
Because I can picture people putting things off for literally a fucking entire year.
Yeah.
And then things stack up and it becomes so overwhelming that you don't know where to start, and it's easier to just close.
Yep, I would agree.
And that sucks. I don't want that for people.
Yeah, I think sometimes people freeze because there is so much to do. Like I said, they don't know where to start. So I think you got to figure out what actionable step can you make today, like literally today, that will make progress to where you want to be throughout that year. And you can't be like, oh, I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to that tomorrow. Because before you know it, tomorrow's the next day, it's the next month. And like you said, before you know it, you've gone through your first year and you're like, holy crap, I just keep saying I'll get to it. You have to get to it. You have to recognize it. It might make you feel uncomfortable, and that might be why you're ignoring it also. That was a flaw I had for a long time. Like, just like when I would get nervous, I just would ignore it. Like it's going to go away.
Right.
And somehow I thought that would make it better, which made it more stressful.
You probably just said this, but I was glancing at my notes. You were like that with your last business.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. I would literally just ignore when I didn't want to deal with certain things. And I'll get to it. So it wasn't like I was ignoring it because I'm going to get to it, but I'm never actually getting to it. And then it would become a bigger problem, or it would become something I didn't know how to tackle because it became so big that I just pretended it didn't exist.
So that's, I remember with my gym, that's exactly, like I didn't know how to do something. So I would procrastinate, but then I would recognize that I needed to do it either way. And then I arrived at I don't know how to do this. So my first step, every time I felt procrastination, or I felt like I shouldn't be putting this on the back burner, but I am, my first step would be to do a little studying, do a little research on whatever the problem, whatever the topic was. And that was my first action.
Perfect. And I think the first action even becomes recognizing, why am I procrastinating this? Why am I putting this on the back burner? And then that's going to get you to understand sort of the beginning of your reactivity to that feeling. And then like, okay, what are my actionable steps? For you, it was studying. Like, I need to learn a new habit. I need to learn a new skill set.
Well, we don't want to be bad at things, right? So
Correct,
I would just be like, oh, if I don't know about this, I'm not going to talk about it.
Right. So you kind of recognize that you're procrastinating. Now, why are you doing it? And then what steps can you take in the immediate future to get that procrastination out and start taking those steps? Mine was always just recognizing I'm uncomfortable in these conversations and I need to have them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just recommend that people figure out whatever action step makes sense to you, whether it's learning about something you're putting off like I do, or it's just recognizing why you feel the way you feel like Jen does, or it's something totally different. Reach out and let us know. But I think the most important thing is to take action, period. It doesn't even matter what it is. Some days, for example, just moving your body. I mean, taking a walk, riding a bike, even just getting fresh air, listening to some music. If you're confused, do something that sort of grounds you, brings you back.
I would always come to, I'm too busy. I have too much on my plate. And it was an excuse. It was a fucking excuse. And I would use it often up till most recently.
Yesterday? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I not just more recently. I realized, why do I feel like this? What can I do? And the minute you start taking actionable steps, it opens your eyes to so many other things. And we're all too busy. We all have too much on our plate. We're moving in all these different directions. Trust me, I get it. But if you own a business, or even if you want to make a life change, too busy isn't going to help you get where you want to be. You have to figure that out. Like, again, what's that first actionable step? Maybe something has to come off your plate for this to come on it, but too busy, I don't have time. Like, that's just an excuse.
So this brings us to our second point, and that sort of just seamlessly went. So procrastination, take action. Being busy for the sake of being busy. This is a big one in business. And I think this hurts people more than they want to know. So where does that come from? I think, and I've heard this from other people, I didn't create this, but people think the busier they are, or the busier they appear, the closer to success they are. They're like, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I need an assistant. Oh, I need a clone of me.
So mine was always...
How do the richest people in the world get by? They probably have assistants, but they don't have clones.
Right.
They're in control of their time.
I always thought looking busy meant that other people viewed me successful.
Interesting, because when I look at how other people view me, I stop and then go work on something because I don't care.
And I mean more so...
I don't care.
Interestingly enough, because I owned my last business too, but in that business, because I was one of the busiest stylists and the owner, that made me look successful. And I can tell you that business was never profitable. So even though I was the busiest or one of, and it looked like I was doing all the things, there was nothing great financially coming out of that.
Or you were working for your paycheck.
If that.
You just had yourself a job.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You were the boss of you, but That was really it.
Yeah.
So busy for the sake of being busy. I think you need to organize your thoughts. This is how I would work with someone to get through this. I think you need to organize your thoughts, write that stuff out, organize it into categories, and get rid of pretty much everything. You're going to think there's so many things that are important that no one else could do. But things like worrying about turning the lights on, worry about taking the trash out for a business owner, that's a lower level task. And you need to move out of that stuff if you want to create a successful business. You want to create... I'm not saying there's no value in taking the trash out. That's not what I said at all. But if you want to work on creating opportunities and build a business where other people are able to make a living and be successful, you can't be doing that stuff.
Right. So focus on the skills that will grow that. Exactly.
So get yourself organized. Create a list.
And I think too, the busy being busy, you need to take healthy steps too. Like you need to take care of yourself, like you said, moving, eating well, and all of those things, because you've got to arrive at that and show up and lead maybe a team, or at least lead that business, right? And you can't do that if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Exactly. So here's our next thing. Thinking you need to be for everyone, aka
a good one.
Going too wide.
Agreed.
So we see this with our staff, meaning like potential staff. We see it with people that we talk to. Mm-hmm. They think, or everyone thinks they need to. Not everyone. I said everyone. That's not fair. Not everyone thinks
majority.
This, a bunch of people we talk to think they need to do it all, right. Be it all for everyone. They can service any client. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong for that, for that mindset. And I do think you want to learn, a general little bit about everything in the beginning. So then you can focus.
Yes.
Then you can decide what you like and actually focus. But to think that you're going to be the best solution for everyone.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. So when you say it slow, it sounds really silly. Mm-hmm. Yet we talk to people all the time. You had a business coach once that wanted to change your slogan to like the hair salon for everyone or something. And I was like, that is a mistake.
It was horrible.
Why would you do that?
I had a lot of bad business advice.
We have something for everyone.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Agreed. And I was in that mindset. For most of you, if you don't know, I've done hair, been in the hair industry for 23 years, and majority of it was pretty much just following what everyone else did and trying to, I guess, make it my own and think I could do it better. But it was never my own thoughts until we opened Hello. And that really opened my mind to doing things the way we decided. But yeah, we were in this, we felt we needed to be for everyone. That's what we were coached to do. We changed our whole entire everything around this, we're for everybody. And
you actually made those changes? I don't remember you actually doing
the website.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, I kind of remember the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
It ended up we closed. So yeah.
I don't know if you closed for that reason. There were many other reasons.
There were lots of steps. But
different podcast, but
yeah, future.
Yeah,
you have to
bad advice out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad advice, and be careful of that. And I think one of the things Todd and I really work towards is giving you from our own experience. You take what you want with that and always make it your own.
Correct.
Don't just do what we say, but think about it. What would work for you? What fits your mission and your core values? And that's how we make our decisions. But we'll give you stories and advice based on things that we wish people told us, right? Sometimes I wish somebody gave me a piece of advice in a different way.
And I tell even the people that we mentor, I talk to them just openly and say, here's what I might think about in that situation. Here's so I was in a similar situation. Here's what we did.
Yeah.
Things like that. But I'll always come back to it's your business, though.
Yes, I do too.
So you need to look at your core values. You need to look at, is this going to get you one step closer?
Right. The thought-provoking questions. Because it's
feel your feelings. I can't feel your feelings. Yeah. So you have to do that part. Mm-hmm. All I can do is tell you some stories about how my business reacted to that.
Yep. Agreed.
All right.
So if someone can't be for everyone, what would be your, what's the advice here?
Well, no one can be for anyone. I think what you need to do is, so if you've opened if you're opening a business, this is easy. Figure out the services that you want to offer to a clientele. What are the services that really
best you can.
excite you? And then if you want to, say, for example, you're a stylist and you would be, I think it would be cool to offer some skincare services, but you don't necessarily have to go learn them. Learn a little bit, learn enough to hire somebody.
Right. You need to understand that part of your business. Right?
About skincare. And then guess what? It is cool to offer if that's what you want to do. That's right. I mean, so if you're already in business and you're offering far too many options, I think it's probably going to come down to, you could probably do it with the price increase, the old price increase, get rid of some clients and create your pricing structure based on the services that you want to provide. That's what I would say.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And then raise them, and then get rid of the people that you like refer them out or something. Yeah. Just stop doing them.
I'm no longer offering the services. Yeah. And if you know someone that offers them, then feel free to refer. If you don't, that's just
we do a lot of referring at our salon. It doesn't make sense to me to do things that I don't want to do. And I used to do a whole lot of things I didn't want to do. We all did. We've been there.
It's not fun. And
especially in the beginning, you're like, I'll do anything. When I started personal training, I would take the, Saturday evening clients. Who does that? Who wants to work Saturday nights? And guess what? Those people would do all the time, not show up.
I know.
They would stiff you.
That's the part that's hard, because when you start doing that and stretching yourself beyond your boundaries, then you get salty when it's like they do cancel or they don't show up or they're complaining, and like your first thing has to look at yourself. Like, this is where you have to start creating.
Right. Why was I, that person never had an opportunity to cancel on me after a few times because I was like, I'm not doing Saturdays anymore. And I actually filled in faster. It's just, you've got to focus and dial things in, and you'll get there quicker. I know it's sort of counterintuitive because people think if I do everything, then all the people will come. Yeah, but no.
They won't.
That's not how it works.
And if you don't enjoy doing those services or offering those services, then even if you get those people, you're not going to be showing up as your best self. So most likely they're going to feel that, and it did nothing for you except you filled a space in your book. I'm talking like to stylists, with someone you didn't want to service, and someone else could have got in that space that wasn't the opportunity for them. So you're doing yourself a disservice for sure.
Yeah, and your clients. I mean, if you're not happy about something, you really think you think you're doing your best. Like
I source out services all the time. Like, I don't do that, so-and-so does. I sometimes have to send them to other places. Right. And that's just where it's at. Like, we don't offer that, and I don't have anybody up to do what you're looking for. Like, so I can tell you someone else to go to, but.
Right. That's a tough pill for a lot of business owners to swallow.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
And if you're in school or just getting out of school, you're in the hair industry, sure, try some different stuff out, but don't make this mistake that I see a lot of people out there doing.
Ooh, listen to this one, peeps.
I don't even know if you know what I was going to say, but now I'm feeling pressure. I was just going to say, don't go out there and buy every single friggin' piece of kit. Don't go out and, spend $5,000 on, 6 pairs of scissors and, buy all the clippers and do all this stuff because you don't even know if you like it.
Right.
Just get
it. You have to pick like one or two things. Use that many of time. I just did that of.
Many of.
Guys, I add of in all the time as if it's like some.
And no one knows why. We can't figure out why.
Many times you need to figure out what are your favorite tools or what tools you go to, and then you can kind of grow your toolkit from there. But just because you have a bunch of stuff doesn't mean you're going to be any better than you were before you had all the stuff.
No, for sure. It's not going to make you better. And you're just spreading yourself thin. And now you have a feeling that you have to recoup your investment on that stuff, even though you don't like doing the services. And yeah, it's just crazy.
So where I thought you were going to go with that is I see a lot of newer people coming out of school and they get into a salon and they realize how much they have to learn and they try to take all these classes at once. And again,
that's another.
You're spreading yourself too thin. I would look at what do you like to do the best and maybe take a class in those 2 courses. And for me, if you're newer, those should be hands-on, not virtual, because you really need some help.
Yeah, I think virtual classes have a time and place. I also think they waste probably 90% of the time because I've taken a bunch.
Because nobody puts them into actions.
Right. And I've taken a bunch over, when the lockdown was, I did a ton of, because you're fucking bored. We were sitting around.
Nothing else to do.
So I would take those online classes and I'm like, this is just me watching somebody kind of in focus talk about themselves. Cool. Mm-hmm. What is this doing for me?
Right.
It's wasting my time.
I tried taking some stuff for the extensions and I just was lost. I'm like, this is not a virtual thing for me at all. I need a person. And you know what I did? Hired a person.
So if you think you need to be for everyone, focus.
Yep.
Because you are stalling your progression. It's holding you back.
Love that.
Next thing that's holding you back is avoiding innovation. This is a big one for us because innovation is one of our core values. And
it keeps you relevant.
In the hair industry and others, mm-hmm. I hear this all the time. Well, that's just the way it's always been done.
I was one of those people.
Well, yeah, and that's why you're not profiting.
That's why
that's the way it's always been done is 5% profit and you're not even at that.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's just keep doing that then. It doesn't even make sense to me when I hear it. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to innovate. You have to be willing to fail at certain things.
Yes.
Because that comes with innovation and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with failure. You grow, you learn
so much from that.
You reassess, you measure, you get to do all these things. And that's where magic starts to happen with your business.
Absolutely.
And it becomes yours. Foreshadowing for our next point. But yeah, it's a fatal mindset to a business.
And it sets you apart instantly if you are constantly innovating and growing your business with foresight for the future. Does that make sense? Foresight?
Sure. Yeah. One thing I think people have to wrap their minds around in this space is tech. So technology, there's tons of technology for salons, mm-hmm. but salons have been open for 20, 30 years, still using paper notebooks. They want to grow. You can't.
No.
You can't grow with paper. Hey, pass me that notebook so mm-hmm. I can write our appointments in there. No. How do I access that? How do I look at that if I'm at home? I have to leave it for
what if someone loses it?
Right.
It's gone forever.
It's gone. Yeah. So you have to be willing to innovate. You have to check out. I mean, you don't have to. You do what you want to do, but technology can help automate so many parts of your business. And I know it sounds scary to people out there that are like, I've always used a book. I've been doing hair for 49 years.
Time to change it up, Sally.
Yeah. Look, Sally, get on the train cart or whatever. You hobo. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was trying to think of like the, like a horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah. Like back in the day, get out of that era.
Yeah.
But I guess train car, hobos related somehow. I don't know.
It's all good.
I'm just trying to innovate here. See, I failed. Fucking failed. No, but I think it's important to look at your business and figure out ways to progress it because the world is changing. The world is accelerating constantly. It's not just this industry. I hear that a lot. Like, oh, the hair industry changes so much. And it's generally coming from people that are trying to sell you an online course.
Yeah.
To keep up with the times.
I would say to that too.
You're already behind at that point.
Yeah. Don't worry about, I hear this often, especially in the booth rental world or in the salon suite. Well, the person that I'm working with in my suite doesn't want to do that. Okay. Well,
too bad. They don't have to.
Or the people that are in my booth rental, like they don't want to do it. They want us to all be the same. Okay, that literally is horrible.
So independent or team? Independent or team?
Yeah.
Independent or team? Why do people try to blur this? You're one or the other.
I don't know. So if you're on your own, you should be innovating. And to be honest, it's just you that has to buy into what you're innovating for. So go for it.
Yeah.
It's way easier. You should be innovating all the things because you don't have to worry about the team and giving it to them and making them understand it.
You're small. You're tiny.
Yeah.
If you're an independent artist, stylist, hair pro, barber, whatever the fuck you are, if you're independent, you're agile.
Go get them.
And yeah, you can, I mean, you don't have all this massive overhead. That's the point.
Right.
You want to try, for example, a piece of technology?
You should be.
Try it. See if it works. Try it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever. Commit, give it an honest effort.
Don't be like all the people that are around you because that will soar you and your business.
It will soar you?
It will soar your business.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it works.
2022, 2023, wherever you are. ahead.
All right. Let's move on to our next point. This is one that sort of irks me, but the follow the leader mentality. And what I mean by that is the copycat people of the world. So you see the salon across town, in the next town, wherever, right? You assume they're doing really, really well. They must be. They have followers on Instagram or something.
Because on social media, they tell you all about it.
Yeah. Or, or they just tell you all about how awesome they are. Or maybe you even go in for a job interview and they just vomit all this, like, we do this and we're doing this and we're cutting edge and we're this. Run. Yeah. I think it's easy to do that because people don't want to figure this stuff out on their own, but they want the title of owner. They want the title of business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you want to write on your shit, but you don't really want to do the work. And I hate to,
that's the hard part.
I hate to bring it out like that, but that's where I feel like it comes from. So if you're always only able to copy somebody that you perceive to be in front of you, a couple things could happen. One, you're only ever just a watered down version of them.
Correct.
Because you're just doing what they do. You're not thinking for yourself. Right. You don't look like it. It's pretty clear when people copy other businesses what they're doing. You can see that on social media pretty easily.
Oh my gosh, one meme goes out and everybody's posting it and resharing it and changing their way they structure their business because somebody who has a ton of followers were like, this is how it should be done. Like, oh, okay. Cool.
I forget my second point. Did I have 2 points there? I think I had 2 points, but I remember my second point. Yes. So you're not certain that business is doing as well as you think it might be doing.
Right. You have no idea.
Odds are it's not doing that well. The average profit margin is 5%. It was 8%. And I've seen a lot of people now mentioning that they think it's closer to 5%.
And majority of salons are not at 5%.
Not profitable at all.
Right.
Why are you fucking following what they're doing? Why would you listen to that?
And honestly, ask yourself that. Like,
yeah, you have to. That's your action right there.
Because if you did something different and if you did it your own, it would be better because it's yours. No matter what, it's yours. And that sets you apart. It's
also safer because you're in control. You have no clue why they're doing.
Right. And you know your business. And if you don't, then you figure out your business and then make decisions just for your business. Don't look at what everyone else is doing. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. Don't get down that rabbit hole. It does nothing good for you or your business. You need to be inspired, read a book. And read a book outside of your business, like we said before, to get a perspective different.
Yeah, it was in a
different industry
recent podcast
and bring that to your business. That would be exciting.
Yeah, stop being afraid. That's not easy, I know. But if you're listening and you're like, I'm just following someone else, they just called me out. Great. You recognize that.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do about it? And that's going to scare the shit out of you because you're not sure. So I don't know. I don't know what your scenario looks like for whoever's listening, but don't just copy everyone. And because odds are they don't really know what they're doing, which means you don't know. Also, when you hit a roadblock, and you will, because business is all about hitting curveballs, basically. I don't even like baseball. Where'd the baseball analogy come from? Anyways, business just throws curveballs at you constantly.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know why you're doing something, and if you're copying someone else, you don't. Right. You might think you do, but you don't. How are you going to know how it's supposed to look when something hits it?
You don't have a clue.
You're not going to.
And then before you know it, you stopped doing it. And consistency is also one of the most important things you can do for your business.
True story. All right. Next step. What's holding you back? Avoiding delegation.
Well, that's a good one.
So you might think that, well, Todd and Jen, that's cute. I'm not a business owner, though. I'm just an employee. Yeah, still. Delegate some shit to make your life easier. Figure out how to set up your social media so it posts automatically. I know it's an app, but you just delegated that task from your plate.
Right.
And I could give you 50 other examples, but I'm not going to. I just don't feel like it right now.
Just not feeling that one.
No, but there are tons of things that you can automate for yourself just to make your day-to-day easier. If you're an independent stylist or hair pro, or even an owner, there are a ton of things I mentioned earlier, like things like cleaning, taking out the trash. I don't know how it works in independent. You probably have to grab that shit on your way out because you probably have your own.
Right.
Or not. I don't know. Maybe you just need to bring in some tech again as an independent stylist and make your customers' lives easier by having like a card reader or something.
Right.
Don't be cash only or whatever. Who knows? I don't know what it looks like. If you're a business owner, you should be delegating. You shouldn't be needing
not micromanaging. Delegating.
Whole other podcast there. Yeah.
My old self was a micromanager.
Yes, very much.
And I'm like, I don't do that. And then I'm like, I do that. You delegate.
That's all you did. You would be like, can you get the phone? And then listen to the person and tell them what to say.
Yeah, delegating means it comes off your plate and you trust the person you give it to and you give them whatever that looks like, how you want it done.
Put it in place, a script, whatever.
And now you don't have to think about
podcasts you've listened to, whatever they call it. Their template, their script, their whatever system.
Delegate. It goes to the person that you know can do it well.
Delegate. Here's the next thing that I think hold a lot of people back. And that's not building out a foundation for your business.
Agreed.
And we talk about this. We beat this into the ground, but
yes,
it's important. There's really no way around it. If you want to have a successful business over any amount of time, you need to build out a foundation.
And if it sounds like a lot of work, then having a business is not for you.
Yeah, if that's too much work, then yeah, don't have a business. Don't. If you're like a mission statement, who needs that? Don't have a business.
Core values, I mean, really
do what you want.
Stand for.
Do what you want. It's a free country, right? But I'm telling you right now, it's going to consume you because every time you need to make a decision, which will be, if you're not doing that, you're not delegating. So now you have thousands of decisions a day to make. Hundreds,
and none of
dozens,
them are consistent or
whatever.
have any rhyme or reason to it.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. None of them come from anywhere.
And if you're opening a business where you're going to have employees, it's no offense, you're a shithead because you're opening up a bad place. Even if it looks pretty, these people are coming in and they trust you and you don't have a clue what you're doing because you have nothing to stand on. It's with anything.
A little aggressive on the name calling,
but you know what it is? It's because we do so many interviews and I hear so many stories of employees that were just treated like crap
from past
or had bad experiences.
Yeah, I agree.
And it sucks because
now
we're starting from behind and we're showing them what we do. Come in, check it out. I don't even have to like sell it. I'm just like, come watch it. Talk to the employees that we have. Like, don't even take it from me. But I'm having to like, I almost like therapy for them. I'm like, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry because that shouldn't be happening.
We've had interviews with people or chats, we call them, with people who don't end up at our salon or with our business in any way, but we still spend over an hour with them working through what they should be doing.
Yeah, to help them.
Because they're screwed up.
We can't help everybody, but we can at least give them a set of standards and help them in their interview process with other salons because we have to. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you feel obligated to help people. I mean, it's part of who we are.
Yeah, for sure.
But not having that foundation, like whether you're building a physical structure, a business, if you're building a relationship, if you don't have a solid foundation,
everything crumbles.
Everything crumbles. For example, here's what happens. I don't have a business plan. I'm going to be an independent hair pro. Great. So now I get to write owner on my Instagram.
And come up with a cool logo.
It's probably my initials and some swirly things next to it. And then comes the customers. Now I'm afraid I don't know how to market. I don't have a business plan. I don't have anything. So I'll discount it.
Yeah.
So then I go down the road for 2 or 3 years, and now I'm not making the money I thought I was going to make because I was too afraid to raise my prices. I've discounted everything. I didn't have a plan, so I didn't adjust for inflation. All these things. You don't know what you're doing. That's okay. Get some help, though.
Right.
And it's not too late, even if you're years down the road.
You did that.
Right. You didn't want to take the time to build the foundation.
It's not their fault.
It's on you.
Yes.
You have to take ownership. And I think once you start to take ownership in your business, you'll see some magic happen.
Yes.
We talk about that all the time too. So again, it's not too late. If you don't have a foundation, sit down with somebody or do it on your own. Use Google. If you don't want to work with a mentor or you don't have anyone that you trust, go check out our podcast on networking, figure that shit out, build a team. And then, write out a mission statement, a vision statement, and some core principles. Run through those exercises.
It's so important.
And start applying them. I mean, that's what you have to do. So you're starting over, but that's okay.
Right.
Trust me.
Start where you are.
The other way is not going to work. Now, this one sounds similar, but not having a plan at all. That holds people back. And you're laughing, but I see this a lot.
So often. It's frustrating.
Sometimes people will even try to like fake stuff. I've talked to people that are like, I have this business plan. Here are the numbers. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. That's not a business plan.
Most of the stuff is out there. And we
you look at the numbers and you're like,
why are you lying to us? Like, I don't care. I'm here to help you. So first step is be honest. So
not having a plan is it's dangerous. Really dangerous.
It's a recipe for failure in all different ways. Business failure, like all of the things you're doing, they have nothing to hold them up. Yeah, you need a plan.
Yeah, you need a plan. And it doesn't matter if you're an employee. You might be like, why would I need a mission, vision, and some core principles? Because you need to find a business that aligns with you.
Yeah, how do you know even the salon you're working for fits what you want if you don't know what you want?
Right.
And not just to be a stylist. Like, what kind of stylist? What kind of barber? What's the vision for you?
Exactly.
What do you stand behind? And then as that salon starts to maybe change and grow, you can figure out for yourself if you're like, wow, I'm not loving it here. Oh, well, that's because they're moving in this direction and here's where I'm at. Or, wow, I love this even more. How come? Because they changed and it fits more with what aligns with you. You understand why that's happening.
Sure. Yeah. So you might be somebody that looks at integrity and values that. So I value integrity. I've worked for businesses that will adjust the pricing based on the fucking car that pulls in the parking lot. That's not integrity.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I've seen it. I quit because it didn't fit.
Yes.
The place was cool. It was popular. A lot of people liked it. Mm-hmm. People spent a shit ton of money there, unless they pulled in a minivan. And then for some reason, everything was 50% off. It was just about getting the person's money, however much you could get from them. And zero integrity at all.
If people out there listening, just because someone drives a minivan and someone else drives a whatever car, I'm not into cars, doesn't at all relate to their income or financial situation at all.
No. The poorest people have the sickest cars. It's true. They spend all their fucking money on their cars.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyways, so joking aside, have a plan, right? And then, no matter who you are, just have a plan. Mm-hmm. Have a plan. Have your foundation built out. And if you don't know how to do it, find somebody that can help you and they'll help you. All right, next point. This one irks me. Mm-hmm. Buying into the BS. All right. So recently I've been seeing a lot of these like online sort of magazines in the hair world. And they love to, and I know why they do it. I get it because it gets clicks, gets likes, gets comments. But they love to create these fucking problems that don't exist. Mm-hmm. Everyone if you looked at the hair industry and you based it just on like Instagram, you would be like, fuck that. Why would I get into that?
Because there's a bunch of crazies.
It's trash. So
they literally know how to get your reactivity reacting. Okay. And you don't even know why, right?
I don't know. Sure. It just pisses me off because I know that a lot of people are just following the leader.
Yeah.
And they see this online magazine with, 100,000 followers or whatever. And they're like, must be true. Yeah, that's right. Screw you, clients. Why'd you do us dirty like that? Yeah. And I'm like, what? Did that even happen to you?
Yeah,
like
the newest one I've just seen was like dear clients, not confirming your appointment does not mean.
Oh, PSA. It was PSA.
Something like that. You
that in my
canceled
stories,
it.
actually.
I don't even know, but I'm like, why are you shaming clients? If you have a problem with a client that didn't show up or didn't confirm it, talk to the frigging client. And if you don't know how to do that, then you're in the wrong business.
What does your plan say?
Right.
What does your plan say? What are your
that's
policies
what I mean. Like, those are out
you
there
do in that circumstance?
It creates a reaction in people, and then they're sharing it like as if you're basically yelling at your clients, and then no one knows who you're talking to.
The post was PSA. Not confirming your appointment is not the same as canceling your appointment. Thank you very much, or something passive aggressive. And I was like, first of all, step one, if you have enough clients that are doing that to warrant you creating that post, it's on you.
Right.
Who picks your clients? You pick them. Unless you try to be for everybody, which you shouldn't. And then if people are not showing up on you, block them on your scheduling. If that's what you want to do, if you want to be passive aggressive because you don't know how to have a conversation, that's okay. Just
you're not allowed to book anymore. Yeah,
we do that. That's our policy. If you don't show up, we reach out. Hey, hope everything's okay. Is there anything we can do to help? Would you like to rebook that appointment? If we don't hear back from them, that's rude. We'll just turn your online booking access off. If we hear back and they're like, I'm so sorry, something happened, no big deal. It's life. Stuff comes up. You missed your appointment. You also missed the text and the email that went out, which is a little confusing, but that's okay. We still get it. Stuff comes up. We're not going to post on social media that, no shows cost me money and X amount of no shows per year times this amount I'm losing that. No one cares about your fucking sob story.
Get over it, put a policy in place and have a conversation.
Yeah, learn how to have a conversation and put a policy in place, which is part of your plan. And then just that dictates everything.
Consistently.
Problem solved. That's what you do there. So next point is spending too much time consuming rather than creating. And this one, we can focus easily on social media.
Yeah.
Right. So people sit on social media. They're trying to figure out what to post. So they start scrolling, and then they scroll and they scroll and they start buying into all the BS we just talked about. Mm-hmm. And then they're scrolling, and then now they're sharing those BS
Everyone
posts.
Else's stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just garbage. It's just reiterating itself over and over again.
If you don't know what to post a picture of your face. Hey.
Yeah. I don't care. But so you have to create. If you want to be successful in business, it involves creating things. You're either creating a service to offer, you're creating the marketing to get that service in front of potential clients, you're creating content, which I guess would be marketing as well. I don't know what you're creating. You're creating the physical space. Maybe you're creating a website so that your business can live online. It's constantly creating. You don't have a ton of time to be sitting on Instagram just consuming, watching reel after reel. Right. I'm not saying I don't spend time doing that, but it's then you have outside of the time that I have set to work. Mm-hmm. If I have downtime sitting on the sofa at the end of the night and I want to stare at my phone for 20 minutes and do nothing, that's complete. I'm not trying to work though.
Right.
Hopefully I find something that's inspirational to me and I can use it. But if I don't, it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to blur everything together.
Right.
I've already accomplished what I need to accomplish for the day. Now I'm just shutting my fucking brain off, watching stupid people dance around on Instagram. And for some reason, that's funny. I do get a lot of pizza. I love pizza. I love making pizza. So what?
I love pizza.
Fight me. All right, let's move on. Last one.
It's a good one.
Things that are holding you back in your business. What is it, Jen?
Ego.
Yeah, it's ego. So is ego bad?
No.
No, ego's not bad. It's not bad to have ego because you're a human being. So your ego is just how you perceive yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it. What happens is people start to think they're all set. They become complacent, or they drastically. There's an old study called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You can look it up. All right, I'll put it in the show notes. Dunning-Kruger, and I think they based it on they used comedy and jokes for this. But what they discovered was that most people starting out wildly exaggerate their ability, like wildly.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody that's starting out, you, for example, maybe you work in a salon, you build up a little bit of a clientele and you're like, I'm going independent. I know everything. There's nothing else for me to learn. Yeah, good luck. I mean, try that if you want to, but I promise you, you're drastically over exaggerating your ability.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right. And you just
as you move along through this Dunning-Kruger effect, what happens is you reach sort of this, I think they call it like the valley of despair. You start to realize how much you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is terrifying because now you're on your own.
Right.
And you might be not actually on your own. Like you might work with somebody or you might be a business owner and have a team or whatever. But when you hit this spot in your journey, it feels very lonely because you are like, I know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and where do I go
Jon
from here?
Snow. We got to rewatch that.
I do.
So I know nothing. From there, that's when mastery can occur because you start to realize you'll never know it all, but you can work toward, you can take action, you can take steps.
And that it's okay to not know it all. Like
yes. You come out of that valley of despair and you accept that it's okay to not know everything.
You don't want to. You're never going to.
Accelerates you forward. And then that's
Game
when you
changer.
can truly master over time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dunning-Kruger effect on a graph looks like this huge spike. So right out of the gate, 1 year of experience, say, and it's spiked to a 10 on the confidence meter because you're like, I went through school. I'm licensed. It doesn't mean you know anything. And then you'll see a sharp decline and then a turn at that valley of despair. And you will see a gradual sort of
battle.
Uphill. Yeah. Battle is a great way to put it.
Yeah. Because it is. You got to fight for it.
And a bad ego comes from a lot of places. So when I say bad, I mean the bad aspects or the things that we sort of let take over. Self-doubt, fear, not wanting to be judged. I'm not
good enough.
Yeah, like my ego is too sensitive.
Yeah.
So if I try that and somebody calls me out or if I'm wrong, I won't be able to handle that. So I'm not going to do it. Scarcity mindset, did I say that?
No, but that's...
So scarcity mindset, thinking that you have the secret sauce and if you share it, like somehow, it'll hurt you. That's not true. We share everything. Our business is doing better than it's ever done.
Correct.
And
we're helping more people than we ever
right. And now the time,
before.
So we've had the podcast for, this is episode 42, 41, I don't know. So coming on a year.
Yeah.
We're expanding Hello Hair Pro on that side.
Yep.
And we're looking at what's next for the future for us.
It's exciting.
And we share every single, if somebody wants to jump on a phone call, I will talk about anything with them.
Yep. Happy to.
I don't have any secret sauce.
Fun.
But I will tell you what I do have, a business that's doing well and it's growing and it feels like it's growing every week, every day.
Yeah.
We just went through, I think 90% of our staff had their best weeks ever that they've ever had, ever.
Mm-hmm. So cool.
Jen's smiling if you can't tell because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of battling these emotions that you all listening battle as well.
Right.
But if you just do it, take the first steps, take action, you can make it happen.
Yep.
It's possible. Just like Kevin Garnett.
Can do it.
No, he was like, anything's possible when he won in 2008. All right. Anything else?
No, that was great.
That was what we had. And look, I know the ego thing can sting and it's going to take a lot of self-reflection.
I was going to say self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
It's not easy, but
you're going to have to work on your
you
emotional intelligence. Yeah. You're going to have to work probably with somebody. I don't know. I always recommend finding a mentor. It doesn't need to be paid. It doesn't need to be us.
No, but you need someone in your corner and you need someone to keep you on track, keep those actions happening and keep you progressing forward. Yeah.
And so if you're somebody that's completely overwhelmed to the point where you're like freaking out and you're anxious, or you, unfortunately this happens, but in business, like people can become unfortunately depressed like get some help. That might be your first step is like, go see a doctor, a psychologist, whoever you need to talk to, get that stuff taken care of.
Yeah. That
could be your first step and clear your mind, and then just work on yourself first and then help create those opportunities or whatever you want to do. But that could be what's holding your business back too. So
I think too, if you have a feeling that comes up, and we talked about this with the procrastination, whatever that is, say you're feeling irritated or the procrastination, or you're listening to this and you're just feeling lots of things, you need to sit down and ask yourself, like, why are you feeling that? What did that stir up in yourself? And now what can you do with that? Because that knowledge is power.
Yeah, hell yeah. I second that.
Yeah.
We should end on that. That sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. What was that from? The Carnival or some shit? Barnum and Bailey's?
Barnum and Bailey's.
Anyways, you should
have a great day.
You should probably have a great day. And our call to action this week is going to be do something for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get on our mailing list. Don't reach out to us for an intro call unless you really want to. But seriously, take some action. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.